all about. It's very much talked about in different parts of the world. And we're also trying to do so by introducing it to different design members and teams in Africa, especially in the infrastructure space. So as you can see, by name, I'm Elijah Ochieng, an applications engineer in the infrastructure space with the IDEA technologies. So I'll just go straight into our today's agenda. So that we can start and look at exactly what this much talked about Autodesk Infraworks is all about. And before we go into the software, I'll just take you briefly through an introduction into BIM. I understand most of you have also heard about BIM, but not to how it can be implemented or included in the infrastructure design processes. As many people would only understand that building information modeling will only work with those who are involved in the design of buildings. But I will show you today that you can also incorporate BIM process in the design of your infrastructure as well. After that, we'll also introduce the introduction about Infraworks, after which we will go straight into the software and have a look at it in terms of the model builder and the various design tools that it has, which can help infrastructure designers to make their work easier and collaborate with their design teams. Then we'll just have a brief conclusion afterwards. So maybe just to start briefly, many people, as I mentioned, you might have heard about BIM. And I said it's mostly in relation to building. But you should understand that building information modeling is not only applicable in the built environment, but it is also applicable in the infrastructure space as well. As you know that in today's world, there are changes in technology. The infrastructure projects are also becoming more complex, and there's also need to ensure that the projects are implemented and constructed within the required time and schedules. And it therefore means that the highways and the roads engineers should come up also with a way that they should manage these particular projects and work within the timescales that is provided. And the problem that most of the infrastructure designers have been facing is usually the loss in information when the project is being transformed from the conceptual and preliminary design stages into the final design stages, where you find that the data that was used at the conceptual design stages is completely lost, and none of it is taken up to the next stage of the final design. And this is the problem which incorporating BIM in your infrastructure design stage can help you mitigate and avoid. The key word in the BIM, building information modeling, is the word information itself, which enables you to share and store and save this information irrespective of the design stage that you are under your infrastructure design or any other design process. And therefore you can reproduce this data or this information even at the later stages once the project is executed. Can you hear me, everyone? Let me just increase my volume. I understand some of you may be struggling to get me well. So I will try to raise my voice and also increase the audio. So if I'll just go back again to start the presentation. Okay, there we are. So I was explaining that the key information or the keyword in the BIM itself is the word information, which I said involves the sharing of the information or data among the design team, especially when you are transferring, when you're changing from the conceptual and preliminary design stages into the final design stage. As I said, that this is usually a very big problem, especially in the infrastructure designers, where the data that they use at the conceptual and preliminary design stages is usually lost. That most of it is not usually taken into the final design stages. For example, if you're working on a road project, you find that once you have done the proposals and the proposal is approved, the data that you used at the conceptual design stage when you are doing the proposal will not end up at your final design stage. So this is what BIM is trying to help you solve, where it ensures that this particular data that you start with at the beginning of your project ends up at the final design stage, and therefore it will help you to minimize the time that you take on your project. So I'll just also clarify that BIM itself is not a software. BIM is a process, and it's a process which involves the use of intelligent and connected workflows to make your infrastructure or any other particular project more resilient, productive, and profitable. So in the infrastructure perspective, I have a very beautiful model there that just illustrating to us what ideally happens in an infrastructure design process. So as you know that the design process usually starts with the planning, then you go to the concept, detailed design stage. But if you now integrate BIM or the connected BIM workflow in the infrastructure, you will be able to even simulate your project before you even construct it. So then after construction with BIM, you will be able to manage and even maintain that particular project that you have designed using connected BIM workflows. So ideally, that's what we are trying to do. In many cases, you find that once the plan is done, a different set of data will be used to do the concept, and also the data that will be transferred for the detailed design stages is totally different from that which you use at the planning and conceptual design stages. So what BIM enables you to do is that it provides you with a way that you can connect all those design stages such that the same platform or interface of data that you use at the planning stages is what you just proceed with into your conceptual design. And the same data, you transfer it to use at the design or detailed design stages, just by making various changes that are necessary as may be deemed based on the project scope and specifications. So when you fully integrate and adopt BIM in your design workflows, you will be in a position where you can take advantage of this. And the main benefit or profit that you're likely to gain is that it will help you save on your time that you take to design a particular project. It will enable you to maybe identify the various changes and make them as fast as possible without spending much time by redoing the work as you do when you do not have a connection between your planning and concept data and that which you're going to use at the detailed design stages. So just to also clarify, as you can see there, the key stages in building process is usually the design, construct, and operate. So once this is done, when you fully integrate BIM in your workflows, you'll find that it will be more efficient. You can easily and efficiently plan your design, construct, and manage them at the same time, where that the key benefit that you are likely to derive from all that process is saving in the entire project life cycle, where you're likely to save. Through research done, is found that you can save up to about 20% of the total project cost when you use BIM workflows in your infrastructure designs. So that's just introducing you briefly to BIM. So now that you have maybe at least an idea about what BIM is, but just note that BIM is not a software. It is the process through which you just integrate your workflows to ensure that you minimize the loss of information through the entire design process. So it's not a process, it's not a software, but it's the process itself, which enables you share and work seamlessly among the design team. So let's now go into the Infraworks, which is the main agenda of today. So just a brief introduction about what Infraworks is. It is a visual 3D design and communication platform for all the design team, that is the civil engineers, designers, and land planners. The key advantage which Infraworks will provide you with is the fact that you can design and build your projects contextually. That is, if it's a road, you can locate it exactly where that particular road will be executed and start the project on that context. Infraworks will enable you to create, explore, and evaluate your designs. That is, for example, if you are having a particular intersection, I'll just use that to illustrate. With Infraworks, you will be able to explore which one will be the most feasible alternative to adopt at that particular intersection. Should you provide a roundabout at that particular intersection, or should you provide just a T or a Y intersection? Or should you provide an overpass by introducing a bridge so that you avoid the interference by the two roads that are intersecting? So if you use Infraworks, you can be able to evaluate that particular design and explore the different design alternatives and know which one is the best before you actually construct the project. With Infraworks, it also enables you to envision and understand the implications and impacts of the project that you are going to undertake. You can also share and develop better designs through collaboration. So it means that it's one of our key BIM platforms, which means that you don't have to be sharing your designs through mails, PDFs, printing. You just have to collaborate online by linking up with your design teams at the start of the project, and any information change within that particular project is automatically updated and sent to the different design team and stakeholders. And once you are able to start up your project, Infraworks comes in with the detailed design and documentation tools, which means that you can apply various design criteria when designing a road, apart from just conceiving and visualizing how that particular road will look like once completed. You can exactly see if maybe you want to apply a design speed of, let's say, 50 if it's an arterial road, or let's say 80 if it's for example, if it is a superhighway. So it means that you can at least know before you move into your detailed design stage. With Infraworks, you can tell the performance of your road. You can even run some analysis in terms of the passing side distances, stopping side distances, okay? So that you'll be able to know if I were to use a speed of 80 kilometers per hour, at what particular sections of the road should I have these particular traffic control measures based on the analysis that you have performed. So which means that it enables you to do some level of detailed design. You can apply design criteria and be able to know the performance of your road based on that particular design standard that you are going to use. So basically that's the brief introduction of Infraworks. So the key thing with Infraworks, as I mentioned, it enables you to integrate BIM in your workflows. So where it lets the designers and civil engineers plan and design infrastructure project in the context of the real world, where you communicate with your design teams seamlessly without losing the information that you want to communicate at any given time within the project. So just to explore the various tools or functionalities which Infraworks comes with. Infraworks comes with an inbuilt model builder, which enables you to explore and build context of your projects. And as you can see on the screen there, you can start up any project on any given part of the world as long as you are having Infraworks. So just the same way you'd locate a place in map, you can find that particular area and build that model quickly in real time if needed, and start up working on that particular project you'd be interested in working on, irrespective of where you are on the part of the world. So once you have created your model, you can proceed into the designs, where you can easily create roads, bridges, drainage, and even more. So you can use tools that are very, very fast and visually impressive, and incorporate them in your engineering principles when conceiving that particular project you'd want to do. Once that is done, you can easily analyze and even view the project the same way you would visualize an architectural model. With Infraworks, you can also have such particular view, perform analysis of your bridges, your roads, the shades and the shadows that may hinder the sight distances and paths when vehicles and drivers are moving along that particular road that you have designed. You can easily make such analysis and know the possible outcome before the road or that particular project is executed. And once you have done the analysis, as I was mentioning, you can easily collaborate. So Infraworks enables you to share your model on the cloud with project teams and stakeholders. And as I said, every time one person makes a change or provides information into the model is automatically upgraded, and every team member is automatically informed on that particular change that you are making. And therefore, you can easily see the changes in project in real time as the project develops with time. So this is just explaining further what I had said, where you can easily explore different design alternatives very, very quickly, where you can see if you're having a particular intersection, is it possible that you can have a roundabout at that particular intersection, or will you just provide a crossroad? And you'll be able to perform analysis based on different design standards. And Infraworks itself has preloaded design vehicles that you can use to perform the analysis on that particular intersection and see even the minimum vehicle and maximum vehicle sizes, which can easily maneuver on that particular intersection without running on the road curbs. And you can even tell is it possible for you to apply an overpass or a bridge on that road to avoid the interference of the traffic on those different roads. So as you can clearly see there, Infraworks enables you to do that analysis, and you can be able to tell which one is the most optimum design alternative that you can adopt before you proceed into the detailed design of your infrastructure. And it can store both of those alternatives such that you can see them at any given time that you want to see without losing the data. If it was a roundabout, you just store it and have a look at it and perform analysis based on the traffic simulation and traffic data that you have. If it is an intersection, you can also have the same. And you can also see, if possible, that you can have a bridge and save that particular data without losing it on your model. So sharing, we look at this in real time, where once the model is created, you can automatically link up and add up different design team and stakeholders that you want to collaborate with. And the model will be published online and saved on your database, where you can easily see and share it with your design team and other stakeholders. So we'll now just take a deep or a little focused overview in Infraworks. So as you know, most of the civil engineers are already using Civil 3D for their design. But Infraworks is particularly very, very important to you as well. So if you're already using Civil 3D, you will find Infraworks quite important to you, as it enables you to work very, very easily and communicate your design at the preliminary design stages with Civil 3D, where you do most of your detailed designs and documentation. So what this slide shows is just that you can easily interoperate between Civil 3D and Infraworks, where Infraworks enables you to do the desktop study of that particular project that you want to do or perform presentations to the stakeholders, perform preliminary design, concept, and even explore your design further before you proceed into the detailed design. So once you have that particular data for the concept and the preliminary design, you can now proceed your design by just linking up your model with Civil 3D, which you are now quite conversant with, I'll assume. And in Civil 3D, you can import the data from Infraworks, perform your detailed design and final design, where you now provide more in-depth design criteria based on whichever the design standard that you are using, and perform the finished road levels and the alignments that you usually have. And once you have done your detailed design in Civil 3D, you can also export that same particular data that you are using for the detailed design in Civil 3D into Infraworks for further visualization and presentation and even analysis to see how your detailed project will perform in real life. Also, the kind of data that Civil 3D and Infraworks exchanges, if you are aware, we have the team surface, that is the triangular irregular networks surfaces. Civil 3D and Infraworks can easily share alignments and profiles. So those are the key design areas that are usually considered in the road geometry. Also, you can share the corridors and the corridor surfaces, coverages and the terrains, and even the pipe networks if you are involved in the water design and the drainage design as well. So that's how you can easily communicate your detailed design and the conceptual design between Civil 3D and Infraworks, the kind of information. And Civil 3D has that inbuilt tool which enables you to automatically open up your Infraworks model and proceed with your detailed design, after which you will also link up the same detailed design model into Infraworks for visualization. So now that you have briefly gone through that and you have seen how you can communicate or share the models and the kind of the data that you can exchange between Civil 3D and Infraworks, we'll now take a brief tour into the software, that is the Infraworks, and see exactly how it works. So we'll just focus on the model builder and the various design tools that you can use in Infraworks so that you can easily make your design very fast and easily. So at this point, I'll just run the program so that you can see briefly. So I've just moved into Infraworks right now, and I'll open the interface. So that's my Infraworks. I'll just go back home without before opening any model. So when you first run Infraworks, it will come up with some models that are already built up for you. So the key area that I will start with is first at these collaboration tools or the communication tools at the top right, top left corner. So at the top left corner, you will find tools which enables you to manage groups and cloud models. So as I was mentioning, you don't have to be sending mails and messages to your design teams. Infraworks automatically does that for you. So what you do when you start up the software, the first thing I suggest you do if you want to work on a particular project is first of all, create group for that particular project, and the group will be composed with the different design teams, that is the engineers, the planners, the client, and even the stakeholders that are going to be involved on that particular project. So the first thing you do is you access how you can manage the groups and the cloud models, or how you can manage the memberships on that particular group if you're already having one. So I'll just run to see, I'm already having some groups in mind. So what you can see here, I'm having quite a number. That's how based on the groups that you've been working with on some previous projects. So what you need to do, the group that you create, the name should be aligned with that particular project or that particular design team that you want to work with together. So you just add the team members or the group first of all. Then after that, you can admin the group, where you see the admin there of each and the particular group, and if the number of the users on each of the groups that I'm having. So after that, you can add members, and the members that you have, you can assign them role based on which parts of the project you want them to execute or to work on. So as you can see, what I'm having here, I'm having a sample project that you're working on. You can see I can add members. Some of them I can give them a role as authors, publishers, and even readers. Where authors are those who I'll give them the authority to even work and make changes to the model, while publishers are those who are just publishing the project without making any change. And I can even set up the admins for different project groups that I'm having. So usually that's the first step that you should start when you're running Infraworks. Proceed and create the group, where the group will be composed of the different design team members. After that, you add the group members and assign them different roles, and then set up the admin, whoever will be in charge of that particular project. And the group members are composed of the engineers, the planners, the architects, those who you want to work with, and even the client. Okay, so once that is done, you can proceed to creating your design model. So to create a design model, Infraworks gives you two ways of coming up with the design models, where the first one is when you have your own data. That's the GIS information or the design data that you want to work with for that particular project, where you can easily proceed and create your own data in case you don't want to use the cloud-based data that you use to create the models. So you can bring in the data, store it on your computer, create the model, define the model extent, that is the exact coordinates of that particular project location. You can do further settings and decide on the design standard that you want to use. So you can see I'm having the default standards are the AASHTO, both metric and imperial. And I'm also having the DMRB, that is the Design Manual for Roads and Bridges, UK-based. So I can decide and preset these before I put up my model, such that when I'll be bringing any information into the model, I've already decided on the design standards that I will be using for my project. So as you can also see that, you can also automatically select based on the based on which side of the road that you want that particular road to be driven on. You can easily set that up before you start the project. So this will become in handy when you do not want to use the cloud-based data. You just want to build your own data based on the existing data that you are having. That the kind of data that you can bring in is the raster images, SQLite, the shape files. You can easily bring them up here and create your own data on your own model. And as you can see here, when you create your own model or a new model, you first have to define a group. That's why I was saying that so it's very, very important that you first create or come up with that particular group to which you want to work with on that particular project. So once that is done, you will proceed with your model. But the one that we will explore right now is using the model builder. So the model builder is the one which now enables you to create a model for that particular design project area using cloud-based data, where it enables you to locate the project location online using online data. So as you can see, it opens up and the default location is usually United States, but you can browse into any part of the world that you want that your particular project to be modeled on or to be executed on. So what you do is very, very easy here. If you know the exact name of the area, you just can type it up here and it will take you into that particular area. So for example, I can just type a particular name here That is Lanhari in UK. I'll just type Lanhari or Lenfair, yeah, for example, Lenfair Street, and it automatically take me into that particular area with the existing. I can change it to the aerial map view, and you can see, I can see both the existing roads, the buildings, and any other related GIS information that I may want to capture on that particular area. So if I want to work here, I'll just mark it up with either a polygon or just a rectangle. So if I mark it up with a polygon, or maybe let me just search for a particular place in Africa so that we go to a place where both of us are quite conversant with. So just go into Africa. So I'll just bring this to cover somewhere in Africa, anywhere like in West Africa. So I'll just cover somewhere down here in Nigeria so that we can create a small model very, very fast. But you can create a model anywhere. And the most important thing that you should note that the model size that you are creating should not exceed 200 square kilometers at this particular point. So once I've marked up that my location, let's assume that's my project design area. Assume there, so I'll just make sure that it's smaller than 200 or equal to 200 square kilometers. So I'm just zooming in deeper. And I'll reduce the size to match. So that's still big, so I'll just reduce it to that small portion. There we go. So right now it's about 200 square kilometers. So let's assume that's my project area. So let's say we want to work on this, we want to do some access road into this Kaduna Gwari Road. So what I'll do once that is done, remember we created a group. So if you had created a group, you have first of all to select the group. The group here defines the project team that you want to work with. So maybe the name that you give to your project should be defined based on the name of the project that you want to execute. So I'll just call this one, like for example, Kaduna. I'll call it Kaduna Beam Main Road. So let's assume that's the road that you want to improve on. So that will be the name of that particular model that I want to work with. So once that's done successfully, what I'll just now do next is to click create, and it will take this model online and build a GIS-based model with all the GIS information that I need. That's the roads, the water networks that are existing there, the rivers, and any other infrastructure element that I may want to be captured on that particular project of interest. So what I'll just do, I'll just click create, and it will tell me it's going to build it online. And once that is done, I will receive an email notification. And also all the group members that I had added into my group will also automatically receive a mail and link to access that particular project that I've created. So I'll not be doing any sending of mails. Autodesk Infraworks will automatically does that for me. So once that is done, I'll just close this one up, and it will take some 30 seconds to 3 minutes based on the speed of your internet connection, and you will receive the model from which you can start working on. So as you can see, I'm already having it on the screen here, Kaduna Birmin Road, and it tells me exactly the time when it was created. So it was created today by me, and the group to which I've shared it with, okay? So I'm not going to open that model, but I'll open it at the end of it so that you can have a look of what is inside there. Okay, so can see also, you can see on my screen, I've also received an email notifying me that my model has been created. Okay, so those are the various design tools that you can see. So you can automatically create a model if you do not have any existing GIS data. If you have your own GIS data, you can automatically use them and create up your own model and start up the design. So I can search for the models here. As you can see, I'm having quite a number of models here. So this just tells me the number of models that I'm having, that I've been working on. So I can automatically open up, or if I can't easily see one that I want to open, I can just type here and find the name. So in this case, what I'll do, I'll just open one of the existing models that I'm having so that we can tour that particular model and see the various design tools that Infraworks provides us with. So let's just give it a few seconds to open up the model. I'm not opening the model that you have created, but all of them will look the same in terms of the information that it captures and provides you with. So this is a 3D model that I've created, that I've been working on for a particular project. So as you can see, it captures buildings in 3D as they are. You can see this is a particular building. And if you select on that particular building, it should be able to tell you the name of the exact building. It can tell you the name of that particular road you are selecting on the project. And usually that's done at the top right corner, where if you click, you can even enter the name. Like in this case, this is a model I created from my own data. That's why you can see I'm having the names here. But if it's a model which I captured from GIS information or using the model builder, if I select any particular component or element of the model, it should tell me the name and even the exact location at the top right corner here. So if I don't know the name, I can just enter the name after having located it and knowing where it is. So can you see here, I'm also having a river adjacent to these buildings here. And you can see I'm also having the existing roads, whether it is earth roads, tarmac roads, okay? So this is the kind of data that you get when you work with Infraworks. So you can see it can easily make your work easier in terms of planning and doing the conceptual design when you use Infraworks. And it captures the information as it exists on that particular project area without loss of any component of that context of the project. So just to briefly take you through the various design tools which Infraworks has now that we have a model. Okay, so the first tool is the build, manage, and analyze your infrastructure. So this is the tool which enables you, once you have created the model, you can do further modeling or further design or further managing of your model by introducing more 3D buildings, 3D roads, or whichever is not existing in the model as you'd want it. You can easily use this tool here and even create further model component if you want to. And to easily see them, if you just hover a cursor on any of those tools, it tells you what that particular tool is. So like I'm putting the cursor on the top left corner. So the symbol there for capital I tells me it is the one for build, manage, and analyze your infrastructure model. So within it, I'm also having some sub-tools. The one of them is for the create and manage the model. The next one is select the model feature. So if I want to select one component or a particular element of the model, I'll just use that. If I want to create conceptual design features, I'll just use the next one, the next tool there for create conceptual design features. So for example, I'll go and access the tools within the sub-tool for create and manage your model. So if I click on it, it brings me quite a number of other tools. So as you can see, the first one is for data sources. So this one now enables you to connect with various data sources or databases that you want to use to add information into your model. So for example, if I can just drop down here into the add file data source, this enables me to link up files from different formats into Infraworks. So for example, if I want to bring in a 3D model, I can just use this particular tool here to link up and bring in a 3D model into my Infraworks. And remember, I was saying that Infraworks is interoperable with Civil 3D. So you can see, you can also bring in Civil 3D models. That is the road corridors, the surfaces, the pipe networks, the pressure networks. Okay, so that's the tool that you'll use to enable you link up that particular file into Infraworks. Also, you can just bring in the normal AutoCAD files into your Civil 3D. And quite a number of other file formats that you can still work with here. We have the IFC, we have the Autodesk Revit files. So it means that if once you have done your architectural design or structural design of a building, you can bring up the model into Infraworks and see how it will fit up on that particular project location. So you also have the land XML, point cloud, very, very important, the raster images, SDF, and the shape files. Also, you can bring in the SQLite files into Infraworks just to build up on what you are already having. Also, you can link up data sources. So the various data sources that you can connect to are the Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server Spatial, and those very many others, as you can see on the drop down there. Okay, so that's just how you can use Infraworks to link up with different data sources. You can explore model properties, do surface layers, okay? But I'll not go into deep for that particular component, but the ones that I really want to focus on are the tools for designing, reviewing, and engineering roads, bridges, and drainages. So the next three icons which follows after the one for building and managing your infrastructure model, the next three on the top left corner there, as you can see, there is an icon for road, there is also an icon for bridges, and also an icon for drainage, a symbol for water there. So these are the most important tools that we have in Infraworks. For example, the first one there for designing, reviewing, and road is quite important in that it's the one which enables you to build and design roads in Infraworks. In it also are tools which enables you to perform corridor optimization, as you can see. So I'm having a tool for corridor optimization, a tool for traffic simulation, a tool for profile optimization. What corridor optimization and profile optimization means is that once you have done your road alignment, Infraworks will perform analysis based on the vertical profile and horizontal profiles that you have done and tell you in terms of the curves, the vertical curves, horizontal curves, how do they fit in comparison with the existing grounds? And you'll recommend to you the most optimum paths that particular road alignment can follow. So profile optimization and corridor optimizations are very, very important when performing the analysis or the design of your horizontal and vertical alignment. Traffic simulation enables you to run simulation based on the traffic study, where you can key in your own traffic data and perform the analysis. That is the analysis in terms of the waiting times at the intersections, the delays, the number of the amber, red, and green at the intersections. You can easily perform such analysis and simulation in Infraworks, and you will be able to know, should you provide a yield or a giveaway, or should you provide a traffic signal at that particular intersection? So once you perform the analysis, you will be able to see the most optimum design recommendations that you can provide at your intersections when you perform such. You'll even be able to know the most adequate or feasible type of the road intersection that you should have, if the size of the roundabout that you're proposing to have will be adequate or not, based on the traffic simulation and analysis that you'll be performing from that traffic simulation component. Okay, the next tool is the one which now enables you to do the design of the roads themselves. So as you can see, I'm having one for component road, design road. I can decide the right of ways for my road, that is the road corridor or the road reserve area. You can also do parcels, as you can see that you know very well. As you can see, for example, this model here, I'm having quite a number of buildings adjacent to the road. So if I want to, maybe there's need to compensate or to relocate these guys here, I can easily determine the exact areas of those small pieces of lands for these single family dwellings along the road and know the exact areas and the amount of money required for the compensation when relocating them. I can also do coverages, land areas, and in the city furnitures. So the city furnitures are the various elements of the road, that is the traffic signs, Okay, so maybe if I can just drop down and click onto the design roads. So when I click onto the design roads, you can see on my right hand side, it tells me that right now, if I were to place a road or to create a road in Infraworks, I will be doing a road on AASHTO Standard Imperial, as that's what I chose. And it tells me even the version of that AASHTO, that's 2011. It also tells me the function of that particular road, as we all know, the classification of roads. So Infraworks classifies roads into local, collector, arterial, and freeway, where each of these, the main determinant is usually the design speed. So as you can see, if I select on a local road, it tells me that I'll be placing a local road with a design speed of 48.28. This is converted from AASHTO, which is usually about 30. AASHTO in Imperial, that's why it's giving you with these very many decimal places. But in many cases, it will be 40 if you're using AASHTO Imperial or the DMRB. If I select now arterial road, you can see the design speed also automatically changes. So for example, if I want to place a new road where none exists, for example, if I want to link up this small area here with this road here, it's very, very easy for me to start up that. So I just want to place a road here by just identifying the start of the road. And you can see when I'm placing it, it tells me the exact length of the road that I'm placing. Okay, let me assume I want to have the straight part ends there. That's the tangent. And I can automatically now start proceeding to the next stretch of the road. But remember that roads usually have curves. So if I want to have a curve there, I'll just right click and choose a curve. So I'm having the two basic curves that you usually have in roads. Horizontal alignments are the spiral curves and just the normal curve. So like if I choose a normal curve, you can see when I'll be placing it, just a minute, let me choose spiral curve. It's not picking. Okay, let me choose the radius of the curve so that you can see. I'll choose a smaller radius. So I'll choose a radius of, let's say, 50. And the spiral length of the curve, I can also choose, let me say, 50. But remember, these are the key design parameters that you have to know before you do a road based on the existing area there. So right now, I'll be doing a road, and if you put it with a value that does not match the road classification that you have specified, remember we have specified a road as an arterial road, and if you see it, it's highlighting it with red and telling me that the value that I've entered will not meet the minimum requirements for that particular road class, and therefore it tells me the range within which I can now put my value to ensure that I meet the minimum design requirements. So like in this case, I'll just now put it in between 254 to 1270. So I'll have my curve radius as 500, and also the same also with the spiral. And it automatically changes. If I change the curve radius, the length of the spiral curve also changes. So like in this case, I can now make it 100. Okay, so I'll come now and start and place the road there. At that particular point, then I'll just go straight to link it up with this small component here. And I can change the type of the curve. Okay. So I can easily place the road and link it up with where none exists. So I assume my road will be ending up at this point. So if I double click, it builds up the road and it tells me exactly how that particular road will look like. So like right now, the road, since it's an arterial road, it has automatically separated into to 4 lanes with a divided carriageway. To change that, I'll just have to check again on my canvas tool here, where I can see the road style and change the road style right now. So like if I do not want it to have a divided carriageway, I'll just click and go into the more road styles that I can easily use. And I'll just select the one which will particularly fit my design requirement or design need. Like in this case, I'll just select a single carriageway road with 2 lanes so that I can just have it to fit up on that particular small area. Sorry, let me just change that so that I can have it. So you can see the road you place is just in 3D as you would want it to appear. So that's the tool that you use to place up the road. You can place up and create road where none exists. Or if you just want to improve on an existing road, for example, I'm having this existing road here. If I want to improve this road, maybe let's assume right now it is an earth road. I want to upgrade it into a bitumen standard road. So what I'll do, I'll just select it and right click. Then after right clicking, I can convert it to a design road. So like convert to a design road, it takes some few seconds to refresh. Then it gives me now a road which I can change further based on the design requirements which I want to achieve. So like I can change the style of the road to match up with this. So just select the road standard and you can see right now, it gives me where the road is right now. And I can do further designs of the road just by going to the geometry. I can change the curves of the road. And remember that when you're doing this one design, it is something that you just don't click and drag and drop the way I'm doing. So you can see I'm seeing the curve here, the point of intersections, that is the PI. I'm seeing the PI is the point marked with red. And if I click, I can see the coordinates of that particular point of intersection. So it's very, very easy to create road where none exists and also to start design of a road where one is existing just by upgrading it, selecting it and converting it into that particular road class that you want to use. The next one is now for performing reviews and modification into your roadway. So which means once you have done your roadway design, so you now need to do the analysis. So like you can see, I can perform side distances, the passing side distances on the road on that particular intersection or road I've done. I can do mobility simulation. I can further do corridor optimizations and profile optimization. So the one in here, the profile and corridor optimizations you do here are after the design to see if they meet your requirements once again. Remember, there are ones you are performing when you are building your model. So at this level, if you'll be doing further corridor and profile optimization, will be based on that particular design road that you have worked on. Okay? So those are the various design tools that you can easily find in Infraworks based on the road design. If you go into bridge, the same applies where you drop down on the bridge and you'll be able to see further tools available. So you can see, I can design bridges. After designing bridge, I can review and modify the bridge. Then I can perform analysis on that particular bridge. And the analysis performed on the bridge here are based on the line girder analysis. So like if I can just drop there, you can see I'm having two types of bridge I can easily work with. So in many cases, you either have a bridge as a precast eye girder bridge or a steel bridge. Like if I select precast eye girder, it asks me to select the start and end of that particular road on which I want to place the bridge. As you understand that the bridges are placed along the roads. So what Infraworks will do when you select on when you select on a design bridge, it automatically selects a design road on your model and suggests to you the possible starts and ends of that particular bridge. Okay, so like if I wanted to place one here, though it's not possible, as you can see, this is just along the horizontal line of the road. So there's no possibility of placing a bridge there. But if I can just create a simple bridge, a simple road across this river here so that you can place a bridge on it. So I'll just go into the roads. I'll go to design and I'll select a simple collector road. Assume I want to join these two localities here across the river. So just place one from here and across the river. So I want to see, I'm just connecting there, double click and end. So see what has automatically happens. Infraworks has automatically created for me an intersection here between these two roads. But this intersection here is just the one that I've not performed any analysis on it. But let me just do the one I wanted to do. I want to place a bridge here easily across this river. So what I'll do now that I'm having a road across that river, I'll just go into bridge tool, then select a precast girder. And as you can see what happens, it automatically selects that particular road across which to place the bridge. So I'll just select the start of the road, the start of my bridge, and then to the end of the bridge. I'll assume I want the bridge to end there, then double click to end. And remember, when doing the actual design, it's not just a matter of placing them. You must know the exact size of the river such that you'll be able to know where should you have your abutments? Where should you have the piers? So you can see I'm automatically having a bridge here, and I can easily see it places for me a central pier here on the bridge. You can see also I'm having the abutment here. So you can see it has placed the bridge here based on, it's a concrete bridge with eye girders. So if I want to explore the bridge further, I'll just have to select each of the various components of the bridge and see what they are made up of here. So like it tells me that this girder I've selected here is one made to the type AASHTO type 4. So if you have done bridge design, you know that the girders are classified based on the design standard that you have adopted. And these are the various bridge girders that you can have when using Infraworks. And you're not limited, you can bring in your own as well. Okay, so even if it's the pier that I want to explore, I'll just select that particular pier. And if I click on the pier itself, it will tell me what that pier is made up of. So you can see it will tell me that I've selected, the assembly I've selected right now is the bridge. It tells me this is the bridge 1, that's we're only having one bridge here. And it tells me the pier is made up or is designed or will be designed as per. It tells me it will be volume of the material will be concrete. It tells me the height, the offsets, the diaphragm, whether it is skewed or not. So if I want it to be a skewed pier, I'll just add up the angle of skewness there. And it tells me the standard to which that pier will be made. So I can choose and select from the available alternatives here. Again, this is something that you must know if you're a bridge designer, the various pier design standards that you adopt for your design. Okay, so that's briefly how you can easily create and model your infrastructure components in Infraworks without taking much time. And it automatically updates this one and refreshes it online, and such that whoever is having this similar model will automatically see the same. So as I was mentioning that at this particular point, I was mentioning that you can either decide to have a bridge over this small road here, or you can decide to make this small road cross the high class road by having the same way as you can see right now, like I'm having an intersection, or I can transform that intersection into a roundabout. So like if I want to have such two alternatives on the same model, what I'll now have to go to, I'll have to create what we call a proposal. So it means that I'm proposing to have two design alternatives, where one is an intersection, as you can see right now, this is just a simple intersection, and the other I can decide to have a roundabout or to have a flyover or an overpass over this high class road, such that the traffic on this minor road here does not interfere with the traffic on the major road. So to do that is very, very easily. So what I'll just do, I can transform this one into a roundabout just by going to the top left, into the right canvas, and select the junction type, and I'll change it into a roundabout. So what it does, it will assess it based on the vehicle sizes and standards that I'm having here. It will give me the optimum roundabout size, but you can also edit and change it further. Or what you want to do, if you don't want to edit it, you can just explore it by checking on the various roundabout classes that you are having based on AASHTO. Remember that we're using AASHTO. So like based on the location of this roundabout, whether it is in the rural or in the urban, the number of the lanes that you want to have on it, you can automatically pick and select based on that standard that you want to use. So like I can select that this area looks like it's an urban area. I'll select for it an urban double lane with spiral marking roundabout. So if I select that, it will refresh and automatically changes the size of the roundabout based on the design standard that you're applying to it. Or if I want to revert it back into an intersection, it automatically just clicks and it will convert it into an intersection. And if you check under intersections, I said that you're having all the design vehicle standards. That what I do is just to select the design vehicle standard and convert it and select it. And once I select it, the size of the intersection also automatically changes based on that size of the vehicle I've selected. So like right now, it assumes the smallest design vehicle, that is the class P. So if I select on the next design vehicle, you will see the intersection automatically changes and the model refreshes. So it's very, very easy to work about your intersections and make changes. So even if I want to introduce